Hello everyone, welcome to TeamMust. I'm Karan Sharma and today I'll teach you Kotlin language. Kotlin language is used in a lot of places. First and foremost, it is used in Android development and it's also being used in backend development also. So it's growing really high in popularity these days, and 5 video series I will show you how to program in Kotlin in one day. So in the first video, I'll show you how to write a simple hello world program, and then we'll move over to writing variables. We'll learn about the type inference property. We'll create strings. We'll learn about string interpolation property. We'll get to know how to create arrays and how to use Kotlin ranges. In the next video, I'll show you how to use conditional statements like if else, when expressions, loops, and the continue and the break statement. In the next video, I'll show you how to create simple functions, how to create inline functions, how to write a recursion method, how to use the tail recursion in Kotlin, what are lambda functions and what are higher order functions. Some of these are also being asked in the interview, so just make sure that you follow all the videos correctly and it will help you out in the interview as well. In the video 4, which is the part 1 of the OOPS programming concept, which is object-oriented programming, I'll teach you how to create a simple class, how to define the objects for that class, how to create a constructor, and how to instantiate a class using a constructor, how to write a Kotlin data class, which is very useful in Android development, how to and what are visibility modifiers in Kotlin. In the next, which is the last 5th video of this series, I'll tell you how to create Kotlin interfaces, how to create abstract classes, and what are interfaces, when to use interfaces, and when to use abstract classes, and the most important and one of the very good features of Kotlin language is a sealed class. So I'll teach you about that as well. So let's go ahead and jump into IntelliJ IDEA. I'm using this IDE for this programming, and here I have a class named as learnkotlin.kt, and I've just declared a simple method function main, and I'm just gonna go ahead and run it by using this command run this file, and it will show you the output of hello world. So let's start. So first of all, we'll start with creating variables. It can be of immutable type variable. There's double M over here. Immutable type, which the value cannot be changed in future, or they can be mutable types. The value can be changed in future. All right, so let's go ahead and create this. So we create an immutable variable by using the val keyword. I'll write val, let's say my name equals to Karan. Okay, so my name will not change in future, but my age can change. So I'll create a var. Age equals to, let's say, 27. So this value cannot be changed, and this value can be changed in future. So I can go ahead and give another value to age, let's say 28, which is perfectly fine. But if I go ahead and try to give a new value to name, let's say ABC, it cannot be done. It will give me an error, val cannot be reassigned. So a val is an immutable type. All right, and this is a mutable type. So let's go ahead and print these values. Name is name and age is age. All right, I'll be using Control Shift R, the Mac shortcut command to run this program, which you can see over here. It will be different for Windows. I think it is Control Shift F10. So you can just cross check over here and do it using the keyboard itself. So here we have the output, hello world, name is Karan, age is 28, which we changed it over here. If I remove this line and run this program again, the age is 27. All right, good to go. So this property where I'm writing the variable name inside the string, it is called as string interpolation. So earlier what we used to do was println statement. That was in Java. We write name equals to, we use the concatenation operator here and write the name variable which will print the value. Let's go ahead and run this. I will still get the name printed here, but here see, Kotlin is giving me a suggestion here. Convert concatenation to template. So let's go ahead and click this. What it did, it converted this concatenation to a string interpolation type where it is using this dollar symbol and adding the name of the variable here. So this is also a part of string interpolation. Alright, so let's go ahead and make some different kind of variables. Let's create a number of value 10 and let's create a number float of value 10.2. So what's the difference between these two? So this is a type of integer and it is a type of double. So let's go ahead, print these values. Integer value is, I'll just say integer number is dollar symbol number. Alright, and I'll repeat this line again for a double. So this is not a double float, sorry, it's a double. So it's a double number, double type number. Let's go ahead and run this program. I can see the number is 10 and the double number is 10.2. The number is type integer and the number double is a type of double. If I need to change it to a float, I will have to add a lowercase f here. So now this is not a double, it is a float type. You can see it here, it's a float type now. Alright, so number, I can go ahead and rename it to float. Okay, so if I go ahead and run this, the output is still the same. Alright, it's a float number. Cool. So let's do typecasting. Let's try to convert the number float into an integer. Println float int. We write the number float dot to integer. So here, let's go ahead and run this program. We get float to integer is 10 without the decimal value. And let's go ahead, create a character. Let's say my character equals to value A, and I'm trying to print this character. My char is dollar symbol char. It will print the value A. Or here, my char is A. If I change it to, let's say, Z, it will print as Z. So now let's go ahead and convert this character into an integer. My character to integer dot to integer. So it prints 90. So my character to integer. The ASCII code of Z is 90, which is the integer value for this. So if you want to learn a bit more about ASCII codes, you can go ahead and search this term. It will give you all the details about it. So for basic details, I can tell you that A stands for 65, B stands for 66, and so on till Z stands for 90. And similar is the case with lowercase symbols. Lowercase a stands for 97, lowercase b stands for 98, and so on. So if I just convert this capital Z into lowercase a, you can see 97 will be printed. Alright, so that's depending on the ASCII codes. So ASCII code for capital A is 65 and so on for these values. Alright, so this is about typecasting. We converted float to integer and we converted a character to an integer, and you can do it for a whole bunch of different data types. So let's try to create a Boolean variable, and let's name it as is name equals to true. Alright, so this is a kind of a boolean variable. Let's print the value for this is name and dollar is name, and see what's the result. A boolean can basically have a true or a false value. I can change it to false and run it. Sorry, AL, mistyping here. Alright, so its name will be false here. So boolean can have two values, true or false. So it is used in the if conditions, which we'll see in the future videos. And I can use, I'll show you is keyword here. So there's a keyword in Kotlin named as is. I can check whether this type of variable is a boolean type or integer type. So let's try to do this. Is the is name variable a boolean type, yes or no? So what I'll write a dollar symbol, I'll start and end the curly braces, and I'll type is name is boolean. So this is an expression which will return a true or false value. I can do this for other different data types as well. So it says is name variable is a boolean type, true. What if I try to do the same thing with this variable? If is my character over here is a character type or not, and I will compare it with a character type. Alright, his name is char, incompatible types char and boolean. Okay, sorry, we have to change this to my char. So my char is a character or not. Let's go ahead, run this. Is my char variable a character type? True. So you can see that if I change it to int here, I'm trying to write some code, but I'm getting some suggestion from Kotlin compiler from IntelliJ. It says incompatible types integer and character. I'm trying to compare my character variable, which is of a type character. You can see it here. My character is a type character variable, but I'm comparing it with an integer. So Kotlin is really smart. This IDE is really smart, and it's giving me a suggestion that no, you are trying to compare incompatible types. Alright, so this is char. Now everything is fine. So this will help you to avoid errors at runtime, avoid exceptions at runtime. Alright, so let's go ahead and create strings. Okay, so let me create a val str1 equals to hello, and I'll create a new string val str2 equals to a single equals to world, and I will go ahead and create a new variable str3, and I will try to add val1 plus val2 using the concatenation operator. So this is str1 and this is str2. Alright, so now if I go ahead and print the contents of the value str3 variable, it is the string hello world. Okay, now what if I don't want to do it here? I can simply write str1 and str2 using the string interpolation. I can print it directly over here without using the third variable. So instead of using the concatenation operator, I'm using the string interpolation property of Kotlin. So it will print hello world for me. Alright, so this is a string. Now let's call println and try to find out what is the length of str3, it is, I'll write the dollar symbol, str3 variable dot length. So the length of the string is 11, which is 11 characters in here, 11. All right, so now let's try to compare two strings. I'll create val string 3 equals to, let's call it hello, and I'll create a new string, sorry, I'll rename it to 4. This is string 5, and I'll rename it to a lowercase hello. And I'll try to compare whether these two strings are same or not. So how do I do that? I'll write is str4 same as str5. So again, I'll write the dollar symbol, I'll write the curly braces to write the expression. Here I'll write str4 dot equals to the next string str5. So it is checking whether these two strings are equal or not. So if I go ahead and run this program, I get false, they are not equal. But what if I change the edge to a uppercase edge, and now if I run this program, I can see that the string 4 and string 5 are same. But here I'm getting a little bit suggestion from Kotlin compiler that you can replace it with a binary operator. So let's go ahead and do that. So instead of using the equals to method, I'm using a equals to operator here. So the result will be same as both the statements are same. Cool. So now let's try to do something same, but instead of returning a boolean value of true or false, this method which I'm going to use now compared to, it will give me an integer value. It can be positive or negative, or it will be 0 if both the strings are equal. If both the strings are equal, it will give me 0. Let's try to change the string a little bit, and now it will give me a different value. It is giving me minus 32. So based upon the first and the second string, it will give me a positive or a negative value based upon the difference of the string. So it returns me an integer, and here it returns me a boolean. So I can use whichever I want to do in my project. So let's go ahead and try to do one more thing. The first character in string 4 is string 4 dot 0. So 0 is the first index. I'm getting the first character in the string, which will be capital H here, and I can do it in a different way also. I can call the get method and pass in the index of here. It will also return me H. So let's go ahead and run this. So here the output is same, but Kotlin recommends that the Kotlin compiler recommends that I should not be using get. Replace the get call with the indexing operator. So you can use this indexing operator, which is nothing fancy but just a square bracket. So instead of that, you can use it. So let's go ahead and keep moving forward. So now let's try to create a substring from the string. Oops. Okay, so now we have a string str4 dot substring. I want to get all the values of the string hello from string 4, but after the index 2. So I can do that, and let's print it. What happens here? So I get substring L, L, and O here. So I'm trying to create a substring over here. I can also call a bunch of different types of substring methods where I can give the starting and the end index and get those values. So here I will get H and E because so let me just explain that to you. Here we have H, E, L, L, and O, whose indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what did we do in the first step here was that all the strings values after the second index and including it will be displayed. I'm trying to create a substring from the second index till the last index. So I get L, L, O here, and here what I'm trying to do is get only the values from the 0th index till the second index, excluding the second index. So here I'll get H and E. So here second is not included, and here it is included. All right. So let's go forward and check whether my string contains a particular substring or not. Println, does my string contain LLO? Yes or no? So str4 dot contains method, and I can just pass in the string that I want to check whether my string 4 contains this piece of string or not, which it definitely does. So here we should get a true or a false value in this expression. Alright, so does my string contains the string LLO? Yes, true. Let's change it to LIO, which will result into false value. You can run ahead and see that does my string contain LIO? It is false. So LIO, I can change it to here as well, LIO. Okay, all good. Now let's go ahead and talk about arrays. So arrays are a very important aspect of programming. Let's try to create an array. Array equals to array of, and there are a bunch of methods. You can choose whichever you want. I can pass in a lot of values here. So this array contains different data type values. So what do I mean by that? It means that it can contain a string, it can contain integer, it can contain double type value. So it is not a single type of single data type of array. It can contain a whole bunch of different values, different types of arrays. So let's try to print this array. Oops. Okay, my array is array, and run this program. And my array is this. So this is basically printing the object reference, but I can print dot values for this array using a for loop for x in array print. So it will print, instead of println I can just use print, and it will print all the values. Let's use println. Alright, so it will print all the values of the array, which are 1, 2, current, and 3.14. Alright, so don't worry about the for loop for now, just forget it. Just focus on that these are the values of array right now and how do we initialize it. Alright, so let's try to print the first item in the array. First item in array is array, and use this operator to access the value. Here we'll have to create an expression starting with a curly brace and ending with a curly brace. So correcting this typo error here, running this program. we can see the first item in the array is 1. So here's the 0th index. So I can write item at second index in array. So it is current 0, 1 and 2. So run this program. The item at second index in the array is current. This is the item at 0th index, item at first index, item at second index, and the item at third index. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to get the length of this array. Length of my array is how much? I'll do array dot size and run this program. It will tell me how many values are there in the array, which are 4. But just remember that the index starts from 0. Alright, so let's check if my array contains a particular value or not. So does my array current? You can check it, array dot contains. So there are a whole bunch of methods. Feel free to try them and play around with them. Okay, so let's check it out by running this program. Whether my array contains my name or not. It says true. So this expression gives me a true Boolean value. Alright, if I change this value to, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, some random string, I will definitely get a false result. Alright, so go ahead, play around with these things. That is one of my suggestions. There's a whole bunch of code. I'll share this code with you, and you just have to go and try around, change some things, change some values of the variables, and see how it goes. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to print the first item in the array. First item in my array is, I'll just change the code here, array, and I'll call the first, this is a method, I'm calling this method, and it will print the first item in the array, and my last item in the array is array dot last. If I just want to check what is the index of item 3.14 in my array, I can just type dot index of and type 3.4. Alright, so here it's an expression. I need to end the curly braces here. Let's go ahead, run this program. So the first item of my array is 1, the last item is 3.14, and the index of the item 3.14 is 3. So just like 0, 1, 2, and 3. Alright, the index always starts with 0 in an array. Alright, so last thing, which is how to create a type specific array. Let's say I don't want my array to contain any string or double, but just integers. So I'll write type array, and I will write a colon here, and I will write array, and I will put in integer here, which means only integer values can come inside this array. Alright, so if I try to add a string value, I will get a compilation error straight away which says type mismatch, required is integer, found is string, because I have specifically told that I need an array of type integers. So we can also go ahead and create a string type array, string type array, and change this word to string, and here I need to give some string values now. So you can type in whatever you want over here. Alright, so this is the way you create different kinds of arrays. So let's go ahead and jump on to Kotlin Ranges. This is a very important part which will be used in next of the videos as well, and professional programmers use it all the time. So focus and pause the video whenever you like and try to practice it yourself using whatever IDE you are using. But I recommend IntelliJ IDEA because Kotlin language is created by IntelliJ at JetBrains. Cool. So let's try to create a variable 1 to 10 and initialize it some value. I'll use a dot dot operator, and now this variable contains a range of values which range from 1 to 10. Alright, so let's create another variable alpha which will contain string values which will go from A to Z. Alright, so let's try to print these values using a for loop. Don't stress out on the for loop, but I'm just trying to show you that this variable contains a bunch of values which range from 1 to 10. Println x. Alright, let's go ahead, run this program. So it will display a bunch of values from 1 to 10. Alright, let's try to create a down range of values from, let's say, from 10 to 1, 10 to 1, and we use 10 dot down to method, and we define the last value. I want the bunch of values from 10 till 1, and again I will print this, and I will write 10 to 1 here and print these values. So it will print the values from 10 to 1. Alright, so this is the second for loop over here, which is printing these values. Alright, so now let's try to create a range from 2 to 20. Well, 2 to 20, and we give it some value like range 2 using the method range 2. So I define some values from 2 to 20. So this contains 2, 3, 4, 5 up till 20. Alright, so now what I want to do is create a range. Let's try to create by adding three numbers to each value, so and create a series. So this series is 1, 2, 3, 4 like this up to 10. And what if I want to create a series which says 3 and then 6 and then 10 like that, but which has a difference of 3 between the numbers? So we can do that by using the step method and giving the value 3. Let's go ahead and run this program with range. Okay, so this should print. Let me add a println statement here. Range, and run this program. So range comes as 1, 4, 7, and 10. So I think we need to start with, in case we need to print 3, 6, and 9 here. The difference should be 3, sorry. So in case we need to print 3, 6, and 9, I'll start with 0 to 10, and now I'll get my range corrected. So 0, 3, 6, and 9. In case I need to skip 0, you can do that as well. Alright, so there's one more keyword that you need to know, which is, well, let's say my range 2 equals to 1 until 10. So this will also create a range of values from 1, 2, 3, and so on up till 10, but it will create it only till 9. It will not include the last number. So here, as you see, it also includes the last number 10, but if you use until operator or the keyword, it will not include the value 10, it will only do it till the value 9, like one less than the last value. So if I try to print the range 2 and I give it name here, range 2, and run this program, so it is printing from 1 till 9, so it doesn't include 10. So this is also very important to know. Okay, and so here we come to the last method of this of ranges. So here I create a reverse list. Let's say just call it reverse. I need to reverse these values from 9 to 1 instead of like it going from 1 to 9. So what I'll do is range 2 dot reversed, reversed. So if I go ahead and print this and print the reversed, print ln, print reverse list of numbers. Let's run it. It will print all the numbers in reverse, 9 to 1. So there are a bunch of methods like down to, range to, step, until, reversed. So just keep these in mind, what they do, try to play around with them and see what happens when you code. I'll post all of this code in the link below in the video, so you can go ahead and comment. If you have any questions, I'll be very happy to respond to you. And if you're stuck somewhere, just put a comment and I'll reply to you. Alright, see you guys in the next video soon. Take care, bye bye. We must and keep rocking.